Well, this isn't a video I was expecting to make. God damn it, just when this team finally had expectations again. Alright, so 11 weeks into the 2020 NFL season, the 49ers are the walking embodiment of Murphy's Law. Everything that can go wrong has absolutely gone wrong. And then gone wrong some more. A team that was only 15 minutes away from winning the Super Bowl is now struggling to hover at 500, with expectations already set on the draft. On paper, the Niners only got better than their 2019 squad and were gearing to run it back again. In theory, they had the best offseason a defending NFC champion could have had. How could a team so stacked just fall apart in the span of 10 weeks? Injuries. Injuries killed the Niners. Alright, video over. Okay, no, I'm kidding. There's more to it. But the main point is that injuries are the main culprit behind why the 2020 Niners have fallen from grace. Looking back, the first warning signs came when Deebo Samuel injured his leg in the offseason. It was a warning for what was to come. For you see, there is one constant in the world that is the Niners injury report: the high ankle sprain. The high ankle sprain has claimed many victims, sidelining them for 4 to 6 weeks at a time. Raheem Mostert even got it twice. The football gods demand payment for the NFC Championship trophy, and chose to strike down Niners' payment. Because there are simply way too many injuries to explain in one sitting, I'm going to split this into the offense and defensive injuries, both equally horrible. The 49ers offense in the offseason could have only gotten better. Through a series of wheeling and dealing, John Lynch turned Joe Staley and Emmanuel Sanders into Trent Williams and Brandon Knight. Jimmy Garoppolo was supposed to take the next step and become a top-tier quarterback. Now you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone still willing to defend him. It is sad having watched the apparent franchise savior be turned on by the fan base that had crowned him only a season prior. The high ankle sprain claimed Jimmy, and with it brought into question his durability. Assuming Jimmy doesn't take another snap in 2020, he'll have missed significant time in 2 out of 3 seasons as the 49ers starter. Even in the few games he's played this season, he didn't show that the 49ers were winning because of him, but rather he was simply doing the bare minimum asked of him. The biggest knock against Jimmy has always been that he wasn't elevating the Niners, but the Niners were elevating Jimmy. And barring his 2017 magical run, that observation is correct. Well, but that's only the quarterback. It can't get much worse. Oh, but it does. The hero of the NFC Championship game and the Niners' best running back, injured. The entire receiving corps, also injured with varying lengths of missed time. It got so bad that Richie James Jr. was the Niners' best receiver at one point. Not even George Kittle was spared, suffering an injury in Week 1 that saw him miss time, and he would suffer another injury against the Seahawks. So even before we're halfway done with the season, the starting quarterback, running back, tight end, and both top 2 receivers have missed time. That's not even including the backups who also got injured. Jordan Reed, the number 2 tight end, also injured. Jeff Wilson Jr. in the middle of his breakout game, also getting injured. Even the undrafted running back, JaMychal Hasty, broke his collarbone and will miss games. The 49ers offense alone suffered so many injuries that they are almost recognizable to the squad many projected in the offseason. A 49ers team with the promise of Garoppolo, Kittle, Reed, Deebo, Ayuk, and Mostert did not appear on a single snap this season. Kyle Shanahan had the keys to possibly the greatest offense in the NFC, and it all crumbled as fast as he had assembled it. Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard are merely placeholders until the season ends. All the plays Kyle had scripted for Jimmy and the rest of the offense scrapped to accommodate Mullen. The 2020 Niners are now just a shell of what could have been. Even in the darkest of seasons, there's still at least somewhat a glimmer of hope. And this year that hope is Brandon Knight. He's proven that he can be just as deadly as Deebo Samuel in this 49ers offense, and he's become the lone shining beacon on the offense this year. If there's any hope left for 2021, it'll be the continued development of Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. Alright, on to the defense. The 49ers managed to turn one of the worst defenses in the NFL into one of the best, only for injuries to kick it right back down. It all started with the pass rush, with Dee Ford landing himself on injured reserve before the season even started. His continuous injuries have put his career in serious doubt, and he's only played a limited amount of games in his 49ers tenure. He's yet to even step onto the field this season for the Niners. So great, the Niners are already out one of their best pass rushers. At least they still have Bo. And this is the payment for 2019. The crown jewel of the 2018 tanking season struck down merely 2 weeks into the season after becoming such a key piece of the defensive line. There's nothing like losing your star pass rusher and reigning defensive rookie of the year for the entire season. Throw in that the 49ers traded DeForest Buckner and the only main rusher left from last season is Eric Armstead. Solomon Thomas's injury cemented the fact that he'll never live up to his draft position and he'll be a rotational piece at best. And so the D-line that was once hallmarked by hungry pass rushers crumbled into one that doesn't strike much fear into anything. It wasn't just the pass rushers either, but the linebackers and the cornerbacks. Nobody is safe from what is the 2020 injury curse. Tryon Quan Alexander and Dre Greenlaw missing games for size. The former getting traded to New Orleans just so the Niners could get out of the contract. The 49ers were playing games where the often injured Jason Verrett was their best cornerback. Richard Sherman will have not played in nearly 2 months should he return on schedule to play the Rams. Akella Witherspoon once again regressed and did not inspire the confidence to start even when the team was dying for corners. For those keeping track, at one point in time the 49ers were fielding a defense without Bosa, Ford, Greenlaw, Sherman, and Emmanuel Mosley. Key stars that the 49ers absolutely relied on last season. Oh, and that high ankle sprain from earlier decided to take K'Wan Williams out of lineup too. It was simply an absolute disaster as more players got injured than there were backups who could step into their positions. There just isn't that same fire that was there last year, and it's a glaring reflection of a defense that misses those key guys like Bosa and Sherman. But so what? Every team has injuries. What makes the Niners so special? To put the 49ers' injuries into perspective, this is the starting offense from Super Bowl 54. All the players who have missed time or do not play for the team anymore are highlighted in red. Now here's the exact same for the defense. Of the 22 main players that started that Super Bowl only 9 months ago, only 2 have managed to stay healthy this season, with others either leaving or having various amounts of time injured. The 49ers through Week 10 are fielding nearly 10% of the team that took them to the Super Bowl last season. The 49ers lead all teams with 18 players on IR through the first 11 weeks, accounting for depth players who played a big part in the Niners' success. Not to mention they also have $86 million currently on their injured reserve, $30 million above the second closest team, the Dallas Cowboys. That's only 42% of the team's total cap, and a lot of players the 49ers are paying to be game changers. It's truly a no-win situation for the Niners. The writing is clearly on the wall. They're too decimated to push for even the 7th seed at this point. Through no fault of their own, almost all the players who made that 2019 run possible were the exact victims of injuries that would derail the 2020 season. So now, where do the Niners go from here? On top of the world just a short time ago, only to be thrown right back into tank bowl contention. The 2010 through 2019 decade was a roller coaster for the Niners. Either the highest peaks of going to championship games or finishing with the top 10 draft pick. It would appear for now that that trend will continue on into the 2020s, as you're hard-pressed to find anyone still with playoff aspirations. So, if you're John Lynch, do you bite the bullet and give up on Jimmy Garoppolo? Or do you give him another chance and write this year off as rotten luck? If you're Kyle Shanahan, do you convince that one of the QBs available would be better for this offense? These are questions you'd be expecting out of a fringe playoff team, not the defending NFC champion. And yet here we are, in the year 2020, wondering if some hotshot college quarterback is going to magically fix everything. Maybe if you predict the crystal ball right, you can recreate the Matt Ryan 2016 Falcons offense. Fail and you just wasted a top 10 pick. There's a lot of pressure riding on the fact that next season it's Super Bowl or bust yet again, and how the Niners tackle this offseason is crucial to that. If there's any solace, the practice squad Niners have looked like they can hold their own against what are good teams so far. You may count out the Niners this year, but don't be surprised when they come back with a vengeance next season. And hopefully this time for real.